Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Play 100% Orange Juice. Now, it's actually been a few days since I've played this game, at least on camera, and the current patch is patch 1.2.8, which introduces some balance changes, and I'll go over those very shortly. But for now, let's just go into our next scenario as we have beaten QP scenario and the extra stage associated with QP. Midnight equals Kimono Mimi. So I think we'll go in a clockwise fashion. So we'll do Suguri next. And this will be Suguri episode 1. Oh ho ho! You seem a little overexcited, Hime. Look how nice today's weather is. How could I stay still? I understand how you feel. I feel like dancing the day away. Jeez. Popo! Look, there's some mysterious creature there. There is. Is that a child? Hey, wait up, you miscreant. This time it's a boy. Popo! Oh, you want to dance too? Popo! Hey, before playing around, how about giving me back my wallet? Your wallet? Yeah, it's got all my money in there. In other words, you people are playing tag? Are you? No! Popo! Tag! That looks rather fun. Hime. I said we're not. Tag, that's right. Alright then, let's get started, shall we? Popo! So, as this is Suguri's scenario, we'll be playing through it as Suguri. Suguri has a 4 HP, 1 attack, -1 defense, and +2 evasion. So she really is a character that can avoid all the weak blows, but she runs the risk of getting one hit knocked out by essentially any high rolling number. So in order to circumvent this, what I like to do is create a deck based around defensive properties such as Rainbow Colored Circle, which is probably Suguri's best combat card, gives +2 evasion, so when using this, you'll be at +4 evasion, and since the least you can roll is a 1, you'll be evading any attack value of 4 or lower guaranteed. So I max out on these, and Suguri is the type of character that likes to be aggressive. I noticed that all the other scenario characters, aside from QP, have at least +1 attack, so they're the type that really enjoy being aggressive. So we're gonna stockpile on these aggro cards. Dash is a particularly good one, as it allows you to catch up to some of your opponents. And then, if you're really concerned about taking those high hits, you can run some Usa bits to boost your defense. And then I like to top it off with a big magnum and a shield. And these are just overall very good mid-game combat cards. So let's just go right into it. Now, for my experience in my other file, which I've already 100%ed the game, I've noticed that QP's scenario is actually the hardest, mainly because QP is a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none type of character, whereas all the other 3 protagonists have at least a +1 attack value, so it can easily help you get kills and such. Now, as this is patch 1.2.8, there are 2 major changes to keep in mind. The first major change is, for the final Norma, it has been reduced to 14 wins for the combat Norma. I believe it's still 200 stars for the star Norma. And this was done to make it so combat oriented strategies would be more viable. Since in previous patches, most of the time, focusing primarily on stars for your late game Normas has always been more advantageous unless you've been going for or should I say, you've been playing on maps with the battlefield effect. And the second major change is in regards to the bonus star panels. Now, the bonus stars have been capped to 3 times your dice roll. So previously, the algorithm would have been your level times your dice roll. So right now I got 5 since I'm level 1 and I rolled a 5. But from now on, or at least until another patch changes it, the bonus will be capped at a multiplier of 3. So even if you are, say, level 4 or level 5, your dice roll will only be multiplied by 3, whereas previously it would have been multiplied by 4 or 5 respectively. So, I think that's enough bantering from me. So let's just go back to the game. Now, Suguri has a very easy time KOing characters like Maripopo, because Maripopo will most often roll low attack values of 1, and with your +2 evasion, you're guaranteed to evade those attacks, even if you roll your minimum of 1. So, Suguri's main strategy is to try to pick off those characters that are less combat focused and prefer to farm. So Kai's gonna fight Popo and take her out, and then deal 1 damage to the Sentinel and take 1 damage in return. Hime finally revives. We roll a 2, and then we get 1 bonus star. Now, this would probably be one of the harder stages for Suguri, but since it's only Suguri episode 1, the luck multipliers aren't really in effect. And when I say luck multipliers, I mean that this game has artificial difficulty coded into it, so the later episodes you are in, the CPUs will tend to roll higher values. As you probably noticed from watching QP final episode, how ridiculous Tomomo was. However, I don't perceive to have as much problem with Tomomo with the other 3 protagonists, as the other 3 can really keep their own in combat. Now, unfortunately, there are times like this where Maripopo or like any other character really rolls a attack value of 5 or higher essentially, and what that means is you could easily get knocked out in 1 hit if you don't roll a high defense value. But we do roll a 5, so 5 minus 1 is 4, so we only take 1 damage there. So essentially you want to evade values of 1, 2, and perhaps 3. 3 is debatable depending on your health and the situation you're in, because most of the time you'll be able to avoid those small hits. And of course you want to defend against the really high hits, because evasion isn't reliable in that situation. Now, let's talk about Suguri's hypercard. It's called Accelerator, and the effect is essentially we roll 2 dice for movement, combat, and bonus panels. This can be a really powerful card when used appropriately, because essentially it's a less reliable version of Sora's Extraordinary Specs hypercard, but it can be a lot more powerful than Extraordinary Specs, because obviously you can roll higher than a 6 with 2 die, or 2 dice. I will always get those mixed up. You can roll higher than a 6 with 2 dice, so you can get ridiculous combat stats of, say, like 12, 13 and such, which in most cases is overkill. So we're gonna fight Hime, and do 2 damage to Hime, and I think Hime's gonna be able to knock us out. That's unfortunate, but I really think that in the early games, in the early part of the game, you really want to focus on getting a lot of wins racked up. I'm not sure about the late game now, because of the patch. I really need to play a couple of games to see if the hindered bonus stars from the bonus panels will really influence my overall strategy. So Mary Pope is gonna fight us, and you see she rolls a 4, so you really have to decide, is it worth evading? And I have to roll essentially 3 or higher, so there's a 50% chance that I'll evade all damage, and then a 50% chance of getting KO'd, or I can simply defend and at most take 3 damage. And I will always, or most of the time, take the defense option because it's a lot safer. And we retaliate with 5 damage on Mary Popo. So after this duck fight, Mary Popo will be at 1 health. And perhaps this chicken will knock it out, but Mary Popo rolled high enough evasion, so she'll still be at 1 health. Now, we probably want to roll low, so that Mary Popo engages in combat with us. So what we'll do is stop at home, level up, go for 30 or more stars next, and then perhaps Mary Popo will fight us. Now, through all my bantering, I've neglected to mention that Kai is actually level 5. Or I should say level 4. And he got that easily through 5 wins. So what we're gonna want to do is try to catch up to him and fight him, and hopefully delay his level 5. So we're gonna evade 3 and then retaliate with 2 damage. But since Kai had a very high evasion value, he managed to prevent the damage. So Kai uses Protagonist Privilege, which allows him to attack without getting counterattacked if he is the aggressor. And that effect lasts for 3 turns, so that can be a very powerful effect to try to get some boss kills or any other kills, essentially. Now, Suguri has a lot of problems with the boss, from my experience, mainly because you really want to defend against the boss's high values. So, and Hime rolls a 6, so we'll be knocked out. And then Hime will fight the boss and get knocked out herself. At this point, Kai is the main problem since he is level 4, whereas the rest of us are just level 1 or level 2. So Kai's lollipop is blue, so perhaps we'll save this here and there card for a little bit later, when he gets closer to his lollipop. And that will prevent him from leveling up using his own lollipop for a little bit longer. And that'll give us some time to catch up. Do 1 damage to the boss, and then we'll get knocked to the boss. So you can easily see how Suguri has a lot of problems dealing with the boss. So since Kai took this detour, we have a chance to revive, and then we do, so we really want to use the here and there card to shuffle our positions, perhaps in 1 or 2 turns when Kai gets really close to his lollipop. We are going to stop here because we do have 35 stars. Now we're gonna go for more stars because the only way to get kills now is on other players and on the boss. And Mary Popo gets knocked out by the boss, so the boss has a huge bounty right now. So Kai is pretty close to his lollipop. I think we can wait 1 more turn, unless if he rolls a 5 or 6, that's unfortunate. But I'm trying to milk this as much as possible. All right, so we'll use here and there now to hopefully put Kai in a worse off position. So he moves back a few spaces, but it's better than nothing. We are not gonna fight Mary Popo. We are not gonna stop at home, and then we're just gonna draw a card. We Are Waruga is more or less useless. I was hoping Mary Popo would fight me, but instead she decides to fight Hime, so she'll take 2 damage. Kai will slowly move towards his lollipop. Hime will do 1 damage to the boss, and then get dealt 1 damage. So here we're actually gonna use Accelerator, and You'll see why in a second. We're not gonna fight Miracle Ball, we're gonna fight Hime. So with the power of rolling 2 die, we can get a knockout on Hime. Although like we did roll like double Snake Eyes, but that was beside the point. So the point was here that we roll a really high value that the boss can't readily defend against. The best part about Accelerator is that it lasts for the entire chapter. So if Maripopo was foolish enough to challenge us during the time frame between our next turn and her turn, she would have to deal with double dice counterattack and double dice evasion values. So we take 2 damage from Maripopo. That's unfortunate. And Kai is still level... Kai is actually still level 4 because he went for the Winds Norma. Actually, that was a misclick on my part. But it all worked out because I rolled a 8 for evade. What I wanted to do was use the shield card actually, but instead we accidentally clicked on I'm on fire. So, Miracle we use here and there to shuffle our positions on the board. That actually puts Kai a little bit closer to looping around. That's fine, since he went for the Winds Norma. So Miracle will revive. Kai will get some more stars. Hime's gonna stop by home, but she lands on an assault, so she'll get knocked out, and as a result won't be able to cash in. We'll get more stars. Now, Kai actually has achieved the... She's 7 wins, so I believe he needs 2 more for the level 5. We will go draw the card. It's out of ammo, prevents everyone from using the card for this chapter. Or should I show you the chapter that use that we use out of ammo on. Draw another card, and that's Dash, which will come in very useful to try to catch up to someone that we want to knock out. My bubble rolls high enough to knock out the Sentinel, although I don't know why the Sentinel chose to evade that situation. Hime knocks out a Duck, so Hime's at 11 wins, but she still is only level 2. So our main problem is still Kai, who has a ridiculous amount of stars and a decent amount of wins. So after Kai gets another level, he'll probably go for 200 stars Norma for his final level. So we're really behind right now, but we're close to our lollipop. And we also have a ridiculous amount of stars. That's indicative of the boss kill, but what we want to do is just level up right now. So we'll level up and then go for 120 more stars next. And then Maripopo is on her own lollipop. So here's another use of Dash card. If you roll high enough, you can pursue Maripopo, but we don't, which is unfortunate. So if you did roll high enough, you would pursue Maripopo, challenge Maripopo, and then you would be on a lollipop. And now, unfortunately, Maripopo goes on this lollipop, and that would have given Kai a chance to level up should he had rolled high enough, but we're fortunate that he rolled low, so we can't use Maripopo. So Kai will probably have to rely on his own lollipop, or roll a 2, but he doesn't roll a 2, so we're really lucky. And being tied with Kai in terms of level isn't all that bad, but we really need to do something about Kai, because once he levels up, he'll go for 200 or more stars, and most likely he'll be able to get the final level before me. So we'll fight the chicken, and we managed to knock out the chicken because the chicken chose to evade. And I'm neglecting to mention that Maripopo was also level 4 right now. So Maripopo is less of a threat because she's not that combat orientated, so we can easily knock her out given the opportunity, and she also doesn't have the 200 star threshold yet. So we'll take this way, because we really want to get ahead of Kai. Even though there's a chance that Kai could use Protagonist Privilege on us and prevent us from counterattacking. Now, Mary Popo is actually the first one to reach level 5. But Mary Popo doesn't have enough stars yet, so... Although, after a few more turns, she probably will. Kai will probably level up next turn. We really don't want to warp, because it could put us really far behind. Although Mary Popo warps very near us, which is, it can be a good or bad thing. And what I'm actually gonna do is use Ubiquitous. You target Kai, that'll give us 50 stars, but that's not the point. I wanted to challenge Mary Popo, but I think I'm actually gonna use this opportunity to go on home and then go for our last normal. Now, this does give us the risk that Kai could roll a 6 and win the game, but these are the kind of risks we have to take. Mary Popo actually used Binding Chain, which she got from Hime's, from the gift exchange, and Binding Chain is Hime's card. Now, I wasn't really expecting Mary Popo to be able to knock us out and cash in our stars. But that was just bad play on my part. I think we'll just go buy a few more cards and then we'll call it an episode. Now, like I said, we're probably not gonna win every... We're not gonna win every episode, but I think it's important to at least keep the losses that you can learn from, and keep the losses, well, the episodes that essentially, well, I just don't want to talk about the patch again in another recording. So this will be it for this episode. Next time we'll be doing Suguri episode 1 again. Hopefully play a little bit better, get a little bit more lucky. You know, the skill versus luck argument in these kind of games. But until next time, thanks for watching. Castella out.